We're good? Awesome. What's going on, YouTube? And hello to my Spotify listeners, because I keep forgetting to acknowledge you guys. So I hope you guys are doing well. I've got a fantastic guest here in the building today. The man, the myth, the legend, Lucas Stanis. Very, very famous guy around here. If you don't know him, you're missing out. But I'm going to get into asking him some pretty crazy shit here in a second. But first, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about car insurance. These days, it seems as if we're able to do so much more from home. So while you're at home, why aren't you saving money on your car insurance? Your hometown agency, Kenosha Auto Insurance, has specialized for years in simple, hassle-free insurance using the latest in touch-free technology to help you get the best rates for you and your family. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call today at 262-448-4141. That's 448-4141. And the website is kenoshains.com. One more time, that's 262-448-4141. And we are good to go, man. We got to pay some bills, but then we're here in the podcast, man. How you been?
Not bad. How about you, Dane?
I'm chilling, man. I'm living life. I'm here to put you at ease, spill your guts to me, let me know what's going on.
Right.
I want to know, first and foremost, I pretty much got to ask, I don't ask everybody this, but I should be asking everybody this. How has your whole quarantine experience been? I know you're working still, but like how is quarantining, how's COVID-19 affected what's been going on in your life?
I got kicked out of 2 houses since the quarantine started.
How do you go about getting kicked out of 2 houses?
One was reasonable. I'm just a little too social for those people. Which I completely understood that. The other people just apparently don't like me very much. Yeah. Which I understand. You don't have to like me.
People don't have to like you. What?
No.
So you've had a lot of roommates then.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing about living with roommates? Guess I'm first. What is going on, Whiskey Man? How you doing? What's the worst thing about living with roommates? For me, it's people not doing the dishes, not taking out the trash.
That kind of stuff I'm not too bad about. I just really, you got to be honest with who you're living with.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid of like repercussions of confrontations.
Yeah.
Because then you actually don't know what's going on, and then.
Well, if you can't be honest, then it's like you feel like you're not. That's for me. We had a similar thing when I was living in Janesville in my apartment, and it was along the lines of people just not like taking care of the place, like how I was mentioning with like garbage and just little shit like that. Nice. And then it turned into other people like letting people bum on our couches and shit with like without talking to people that like were actually on the lease. Like this person was like someone we just kind of brought on, and like they were letting their friends like come over, and it was like cool a couple of times, but then we didn't address it right away, and we were probably acting like those people you were just talking, like whatever roommate situation. We did eventually confront him, and it was kind of awkward for him because we were a little rude, but it was like I've
been in that spot.
When you wait, it gets worse, I feel like, and I'm sure.
Living with my sister now, and it's all good there, but I'm kind of the one having all my friends over all the time, bumming on the couch, and like I got the dog, so they don't seem to mind, but I know it's a bit of a burden extra on them.
Having other, well, I mean, as long as everybody's cool with it, it's not a big deal. I actually had, we got some anonymous questions in, and most of them were about the dogs. Now that you brought it up, people wanted to know how Juice is doing. For those of you who aren't aware, why don't you introduce Juice and give a backstory on how you two came into each other's company?
Juice is my blue nose Staffordshire pit bull. He's like 80 pounds now. He's 14 months.
Getting big.
Yeah, he's about 80 pounds now. He's thick, but he's short.
Short and stubby.
I got him when I was living with some friends, and it was really spontaneous one day. I just asked one of them, I was like, should I get this dog? And we went and got that dog. Eventually, they didn't appreciate the dog. I wanted a dog for a while. I've been talking about it for a long time, and this was just like, it worked. Everything would have worked out fine.
Do you think you would have? You said it was kind of spontaneous. Do you think you would have done it if you would have thought it all the way through, or was it something?
I'd been thinking about it. I knew I wanted a dog, and this was a good opportunity. And it wasn't the best place, so like these dogs needed to kind of get out of where they were, and I knew I'd give him a better place than where he was.
That's good.
And he's loving it, dude.
Yeah,
that's my man.
So this wasn't like a regular breeder then? This was just kind of like somebody you knew had some puppies? Okay, that's cool. I mean, no disrespect, a little bit of disrespect to people who buy from breeders. Not like a lot, but there's so many dogs that need homes.
They had puppies to sell them pretty much for the profit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the best place to have dogs.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. But what is it about what is it about owning a dog that you think has changed you, or what is something that like maybe you thought about having a dog going in, because you've had dogs your whole life, but like this is your first dog that like it's just you and the dog kind of together. So what is it about? What have you learned from this? I guess it's a tough question.
Of course, it's a lot of responsibility. Probably nothing like having like a child still.
No,
because it's like you can't
be one of those people that are that post all the time about how their dogs are their kids.
No, that's
like
obnoxious.
That is a little obnoxious.
I love him like that. Like I'd freak out if something happened to him, but when it comes down to it, he's an animal. Like they understand if they have to go in the cage while I'm at work or something.
Yeah.
But like I got him because I knew I needed some like kind of responsibility to like keep myself grounded. So like every day I go home to juice instead of going out being a fool all the time. I got something to go home to, and it's awesome walking in the door.
Always happy to
dog.
see you. You know, dogs
happy
are
as
fucking
fuck.
awesome. Dogs are awesome, man. How many? So you said you had dogs your whole life before when we were talking off air.
Yeah,
so
probably like 5 total, including Juice.
Okay.
That I've gotten like real close to.
Yeah. And were they all? Did any of them? I want to get into this a little later, but I know you own your own restaurant. Like your family had their own business for a while. Did they stay there? Were they around at the restaurant or?
Yeah, but the 2 we had when we lived there, they were like outside dogs, so they stayed outside pretty much. But they could come in the garage and stuff to get warm. But they lived outside for the most part.
That's crazy.
They were just some bad motherfuckers. Those 2 nasty.
I've never had an outside dog. I guess I've just raised baby back bitches then for dogs.
Juice sleeps in my bed with me. He's not at all an outside dog.
Oh, he snuggles up next to you.
Yeah.
People wanted to know, okay, how'd you get him your first dog? No, obviously not your first dog. Where'd you come up with the name Juice? Again, for me, we named our dog Rhino with a fucking a Y, R-Y-N-O, and I guess
That's cool.
It's named after somebody. I think I asked this question on the show, and my mom was watching, and she commented why he was named that, or some shit. But I think that was a lie, because I don't think there was any reason. But why'd you come up with Juice?
Dude, like, it's not because of any rappers. A lot of people say that, like, at the time I got him, I was just using the phrase juice for a lot of things, I guess. Like, juicy, it's the fun thing to use. And
Chance had the juice, then we got Juice
like all that
WRLD
stuff,
now,
like,
okay.
like Meek Mill.
Yeah.
That's probably the one I got the juice. It probably came from that. But, like, the 3rd day I had him, he had a different name for, like, 2 days. And then it just came to me. I was like, it's Juice. He's Juice.
Yeah.
And because he was so tiny and cute, it stuck really well.
Oh, that's awesome. And he adheres to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he knows his name. Okay.
He where was I going? What's it? I forget. Oh, I kind of did it to like remind myself, like stay goofy, stay fun too. Like my dog's name is Juice, and it always gets a smile from people.
Yeah.
He actually has a middle name too. His name is Juice Hendrix.
Juice Hendrix. I like that. I love when people give animals multiple names.
You gotta yell at him once in a while. Like,
yeah. Oh, that you bring
Juice
out
Hendrix,
the full
get
name?
over here. Yeah.
That's good. That's fucking dope.
Always now.
I wanted to have you on. I wanted to have a couple of cool, interesting conversations for me personally, because as people don't know this, but I actually we booked people like for 2 months in advance. Like this is the first time I was really trying to get on my shit and book people. And we had a couple of cancellations recently, which totally fine. They let me know ahead of time, which is new, so that's awesome, because usually it's the day of. And I was really privileged to be able to. That you said yes to being on the show.
Dude, I'm privileged to be here.
Dude, because there's a lot of shit I want to talk to you about, and one of them was, out of when you were getting out of high school, you made the decision to just go straight into working, and a lot of people do that, definitely. But I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on like what led you to do that, because of course you as you'll explain in a second, you worked at it, like you had an internship and did all this like you did some pretty cool shit.
Yeah, the machining was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just because of the money. Like I wasn't going to college since I was like, it was never really a thing for me. Like never really even expected to or thought about it. But it's not just because of money. Like I probably preferred like to go out and start working right away. Like wanted to make my own money.
What were your thoughts on college as like a senior in high school? Like what were you thinking?
Dude, I didn't think about college till I was a junior in high school when they started like pushing it on me. Mm-hmm. And then I still didn't even like think about it too much. Senior year comes around, everybody's talking about I'm enrolled here. I was like, dude, I haven't done literally 1 page and none of that. I had no intentions really.
Yeah, so it was just no interest at all in it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's many benefits, like major benefits to it, but it just wasn't the route I could get myself to go.
That's you know, for you personally, that's probably smarter. I think like a lot of people think that they like have to, and it's coming from somebody that is in college, so take it as you may. But I think like they do try and force it.
I don't think like a lot of people are like college is a scam. Like it's not completely a scam. It's very expensive, so it takes a lot of your money.
It's definitely
but it's not a
lucrative
scam.
on their part. They're doing what they can to make a lot of money.
There are many more benefits to going to college than not.
Yeah, I'd say you're
but it's not
right.
for everyone.
But I think that's the big thing is that it's not for everybody, and I think that the things that school does teach you is even through high school that like if you actually apply all those things throughout your life that you don't need a college education.
And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Nothing like had caught my interest entirely. The machining stuff I was doing was pretty good for me, honestly. I got the mind for that. I was doing pretty well at it.
Guy, you can learn. It was something that they'll let you learn on the job.
And it was stuff like you could do the same stuff from Mr. Morrow's classes. I walked in and drew prints like we'd been doing with him, and they were like, "Oh my God, you could do this." I was like,
"Yeah,
that's like first day stuff, man."
Exactly. Which that's cool then. So what? Where was the internship that you were doing, or where did you start out?
It's Norstan in Pleasant Prairie. It's a little machine shop, punch presses and stuff.
Okay.
I was a tool and die apprentice is what I was because we'd construct the dies that a strip of metal goes down. It makes real small, fine parts, sometimes a little bigger. Mm-hmm. But like that place makes the components that would like go together to make an outlet. Like really fine pieces.
So really tiny pieces then.
Yeah. The prints we'd get, it'd just be like get a square block and take out the rest around it, drill your holes and shit.
So what were you doing specifically then? Like what was your day when you come in, what would you do day to day? What would Lucas do?
I'd get some prints, have to square these blocks up on these machines. A lot of metal work. It was all metal work, and then just use the right. That's what I had to learn was which tools to use at the right times, like what size cutters to use, how fast to be spinning them, like the feed rates and everything.
Was it assembly line like, or was it?
No, I wasn't in that. I was in a small part, like the tool room. There was like probably 8-10 guys total, all stayed to themselves, just got their prints and made their parts. That's all it pretty much was. I worked at a different place recently that was more like assembly line where I'd get a print and make 20 to like 50 of every part I'm making. But I only did it by hand. I never did too much of the CNC buttons.
Gotcha.
I always like clamped it in, fucking found the edges and stuff.
And so,
or like turning by hand.
Making like deciding to do something, taking on an apprenticeship and kind of get into that world. Is it just like, is there something that like inherently interested you about that stuff? Like you have using your hands to learn that way.
I've always liked using my hands a lot, and numbers made sense to me.
Yeah. So what is in when you're you're a senior in high school, you're getting ready to enter like the workforce because you're deciding not to go to college. What is like the end goal for you at that point in time? It may not be the same now, but like what was like the hope? Like,
dude, I really was going day by day, especially at that time in high school. Like I
just trying to make that money.
Extremely living in the moment. Hadn't thought because like I knew my future wasn't college, and that's what a lot of people like my peers were looking at. They were next 4 years of school, and I knew I wasn't doing that.
A lot of them shouldn't, man, and that's kind of the conversation I wanted to have. Is that a lot of those kids think that it is because they think because the guy next door to them is doing that.
I had no idea what I wanted to do after high school, and like I'm sure I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, dude. To be honest with you, I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
I still don't know what the fuck I'm trying to do.
No,
machining.
really?
I like machining a lot, though. It's a good career. It's steady for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be things that need to be.
The thing that's got me out of the shop the most part is all the racist old white men.
Really?
I literally quit my first job, and they said, "Is so and so the reason you're quitting?" I said, "Pretty much." Because just every day they're like, "We're gonna teach you right, boy." Like I'm like, nah.
Oh God.
And then the second place, I told this kid I had a black nephew.
Yeah.
And they started calling me N-word boy. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna put up with that. Like I told another worker, I'll put my fucking boot in his mouth, like, and I'll leave. I don't need this job like that.
Yeah.
So that stopped. Yeah, they talked about that with high ups or whatever, but I still got out of there real soon.
Yeah, dude, that's gross. That's gross, man. I've thankfully not had to deal with anything like that, but that's terrible, man. And recently, when I did that whole protest video and everything, I got some nasty old men in my comments too. So I know exactly how you're feeling.
I shouldn't say like old white men. Like I was kind of.
Yeah, but no, I know what you're saying.
You
though,
know what
like,
I mean?
people,
Though, for the most part, that's the guys I've been working with in the machine shops.
You know what it is too? I think it's weird that so many people.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! All these guys are popping some White Claws.
Thank you.
Backstage. But yeah, you know, it's weird that you have people that are from like an area like this where you're not seeing those people regularly. Like they're not coming in. They're not seeing a lot of black people, right? And so then they just
farm boys.
They feel whatever way they do about their own
derogatory.
life. They feel whatever way they feel about their own life, and then they got to feel like they need to talk a certain way about somebody who's not in the room. But they wouldn't say. I think I saw this on your post the other day. It might have been yesterday, and it was like they won't say that shit to somebody's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a conversation with some people that I know had said some derogatory terms towards black, like just using like the N-word and like
as a joke
or like everyday like whatever singing like rap songs and whatever. And I had a conversation with them and I said, hey man, you're not saying that shit. And they were like, whoa, whatever. And then this friend of mine, like someone that like I consider to be friends with, and and I told him like, you don't fucking say that word, like, and he was like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm just singing it or whatever. And I was just like, here's the thing, you don't understand what that word means if you're gonna say it as a joke say it as whatever. And if you don't understand what it means by now, you're choosing to not understand what it means.
I totally didn't understand when we were younger. We'd make jokes with like there was like only a couple like black or Mexican kids, like anything else. Like there were only a couple of them where I went to grade school, and we'd make jokes, like awful jokes. I reached out to one of my friends and I apologized to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I get it was all jokes, but she was like, thanks for apologizing, because like that shit she was just letting that shit slide. That was bad stuff to make jokes about.
When there's I mean, you gotta think about it, where we're from.
One of my, like, best friends,
there's fucking 2 black people in the school. If what are they gonna do? Beat the fuck out of you? They're gonna beat up one white kid and then get in trouble, and then all the other white kids are gonna be like, see, this is what happens when they don't want to do that. They gotta take, and it's fucked up. That's where people don't understand like the privileged aspect of it, where it's like, dude, if you disrespect me,
it's a comfort thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
One of my best friends all throughout grade school, he had trouble at the beginning of high school because he wouldn't want to go to school. Nothing made him want to go. It wasn't because of the education of the classes. Like he felt like out of place and like he stood out. Mm-hmm. And that's how the people made him feel. That's apparently like how we had made him feel through grade school and everything, with like the jokes that he was laughing off with us and shit,
Yeah, which is crazy.
Like it makes sense to me now. Like it clicked or something.
Yeah, well, and I think too, like, it's just like ignorance. Like I think like, if a kid says something they don't know, that's one thing, but like when we're like 20 some years old and grown ass men and I'm hearing them say these things, it's just like, hey, you need to drop that now.
Yeah, leave that in high school or something. Like Xanax too. Leave Xanax in high school. If you're still popping beans, you're a fucking loser.
Fucking losers popping Xanax. What? Okay. Wilmot, whether or not they want to publicize it or not, I think they had a pretty bad Xans epidemic going on while we were
pretty bad. Yeah.
This is, full transparency. Everybody who watches the show, everybody who knows me at all knows that I'm a pussy. I've never drank. I've never smoked weed. Never done any of this.
It's not for everybody.
The only drug I've ever done was whatever they put me under when they did my knee surgery. So that's it.
Morphine?
Yeah, probably some morphine. I was saying some weird shit. So something weird, right? But I knew people were going through things, and I had some friends of mine who went through some things with that. How the fuck does that shit get into high school? Like, how does that get to high schoolers?
Dude, the fucking pharmaceutical companies be making a bunch of money. There's doctors that'll just, you tell them you need a prescription, they'll give it to you, so you keep coming back.
Yeah.
I know like close friends that have doctors they can abuse. They know which doctors they hit up, get a prescription within the week.
Damn. Have you ever done Xanax then? No, really?
No beans.
Good. Way to be smart.
Yeah, smart. I don't know about smart.
Well, dude, I don't know. Like, people are doing a lot of crazy shit in high school. I don't know.
That's something I stayed away from. Like, I saw how it made my friends, and like I saw how it made other people, and I was like, that's just something I don't want. I've tried a lot of other things, but like that's something I've never even gone for.
Well, I don't understand what and again, this is as I'm speaking as somebody who is, like I just said, a pussy. So it's like I don't understand how like you even. Like, your friend's like, oh, I got this from my doctor or whatever, or I bought this from so-and-so who got this from his doctor. Like, I don't understand, like, how you can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna put that in my body, even though it's not how much I'm supposed to have. Dude. It's not for me and I don't have this condition. And I know people want to have a good time, but it's just like
that's not a drug. If
dangerous.
you want to do some drugs, do drugs. Don't take fucking prescriptions.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it, actually. What
I'm not advocating drug use. Drugs aren't that good either, but like people use drugs.
Yeah. Just don't use other people's prescriptions. I get what you're saying.
It's absurd.
I think I had somebody on the show that said something to that similar to that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know like what are your thoughts on things like LSD then? Things that kind of that's a lot different than prescription.
Oh, totally. That's like psychedelics.
It's
like a different
you into
world.
psychedelics then?
I haven't done psychedelics in a minute, but they're enjoyable.
So what is it about, like, what is the draw to, I mean, I hear the stories, I watch Joe Rogan, so I know about the DMT and all that shit, like, he be talking that shit up all the time, but, for you personally, or like, because obviously you've tried it, like, what was, like, the draw, like, what did somebody say to you that you were like, yeah, I'm gonna do that?
Music probably was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like, it just took the edge off. It made me, like, more comfortable with how it seemed.
Mm.
And then when you do it, it's fucking fun.
Really?
Like, I mean, yeah, acid has always made me lose my shit. That's really, like, just strong.
In a good way?
Yeah. I've cried my eyes out multiple times on acid. I've told my best friend, I was like, I'm not sad, bawling my eyes out, but it's just a rush. It's a big rush. But shrooms, I've always felt were more of, like, a relaxed, like, you can contain yourself more. Really? But it's just enjoyable. So like, I'd take shrooms like pretty often if I could.
Yeah,
I'm
always just curious because like I've never experienced any of that. So like, what do you got? What do you got?
You're like you stay sober and a lot of that acid, you'd probably lose your shit
probably
for
die.
A little. Yeah, you might.
I'd probably just kill myself.
You'd need like somebody to like keep guard over you.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine it'd be bad.
I told somebody I was like, I'm gonna kill myself if I take some acid today, so I'm not gonna. I think I told you that.
Fuck no, dude. No. Whoa, you're an accomplice. If he does it, you're in trouble.
No, definitely.
A friend of mine said that they had done acid and they like did acid while they were on a trip to Florida and they went down to the beach and they said that swimming on acid was like the most surreal experience. And again, I don't know, but I want to get your take on it.
That would be fucking awesome. But I can't swim, Darren.
You can't swim?
No.
You can't swim?
No way.
I can kind of swim.
I die.
I can live. Like, if you throw me off a boat, I can survive. I cannot swim in a direction fast. Like, I can just, like, slowly inch my way to wherever I need to go. But I can't, I can't float, and I can't, not good at swimming. I have to use every muscle to move a foot.
Duncan pushed me in an 8-foot pool like 2 weeks ago, and it was attempted murder. Like, I got out, I was just calling him for attempted murder.
You almost died in an 8-foot pool?
I didn't almost die. I mean, like, my hand was up, and they pulled me up, but, like, I panic. I get underwater.
Why can't you swim?
Just never did it, really. I drowned when I was 2, I suppose, so.
Holy
and you
shit.
know how I'm, like, twitchy fast. When I'm underwater, you got to be calm, and I'm just
you're freaking out.
Yeah, and then I take in water because I'm like breathing fast. It's definitely a mental thing.
Damn, dude, that's
but I
crazy.
think he'll be able to teach it.
You guys were just at the beach the other day.
I'm always at the beach.
You just sit and stay in the sand. You're not going in the water.
Juice is a better swimmer than me.
Yeah, I mean, doggy paddle. You gotta take some strides from him.
He's been helping me actually. Like I was kind of staying above water. I treaded water the other day for quite a while.
That's so weird. Not weird, but just interesting that you can't. You
Yeah, I kind of get that a lot.
Yeah, I would not have thought that.
It's like a mental block because I don't know. Like I'm athletic. Why can't I fucking not die in water?
Oh man,
I haven't tried that much.
I was gonna say, yeah, you probably
I gave up on
tried.
it in like grade school. I was like, fuck, Boy Scouts. I was the only beginner left. I was like, fuck this, dude. I don't care.
Boy Scouts? You were in Boy Scouts?
At Duncan's house, like every
Really?
Monday or something.
Cub
No,
Scouts.
I got to Boy Scouts.
You got to Boy Scouts?
Got to Boy Scouts without being able to swim.
How does that happen? Who was
Duncan's parents ran the troop.
So they were. Oh, there was a little bit of. They were helping you out.
I mean, you really didn't have to be able to swim. They had like 3 sections.
How does that work? Like, how does like?
I think once you needed to be able to swim is when I quit. When I was like, all right, I've had enough.
So how does it like Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts? How does like getting? I just know from like cartoons and people like making fun of Boy Scouts. So like I don't mean it with any disrespect.
No,
I just don't know shit about it. Like
it's
what
cool.
what do what do you do to progress? Like do I have to get this badge and do this thing? Like that's what they always make it seem like on TV.
Yeah, but they're not dicks. Like they'll always let you stay with your guys, move on. No man left behind. Like it's like actually kind of a brotherhood. It's like you get real tight with your guys. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I say culty as a joke because there's a big lawsuit going on with the Boy Scouts of America. Did you hear about that?
Explain.
There's a huge pedophile case going on.
That
like,
I could see.
A lot of like I think it's like hundreds of kids have come forward like they're not kids now, they're like grown ass men with like different mental issues because they were fucking like taking advantage.
I mean, I could totally see that. There's creeps everywhere, and when you're out on these retreats with like primarily males and young boys,
dude,
I could definitely. There's weirdos everywhere, man.
That's fucked though, man.
But the Boy Scouts thing, like what you said earlier, it's like it actually like it did make me a little bit like better of a person, even at a young age, because like they did teach you like how you should. I don't know how to put it.
Can you start a fire?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
I'm a pyro. When there's a chance to start the fire.
Okay, because I suck at starting fire. Like I
was
can
really
do
into-
it, but I suck at it.
I was really into like the whittling and stuff like that, like the blades and like I like the outdoorsy shit, all that. But by the lake, I just stay.
So you said they made you like almost like overall a little bit better of a person at like a younger age. Like what was something else that they had you do?
They taught you like a bit of a work ethic. Like they didn't really hand too much out to you. You didn't eat that much with them unless you brought your own. You had to pitch your own tent kind of shit.
Starving kids out here.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck them.
There was always competition too with your friends, like, and that was rough competition.
Competition's good.
Like it was a bunch of boys out there, so they'd let us play. You know what I mean?
Do? What do you do?
Well, I haven't done it since like.
Or I get. Oh yeah. What did you guys do? What
there were a bunch of it. Like, we'd just be camping and stuff, you know, like canoeing, pitching the tents and everything. But we'd have like games and events, but they wouldn't be like regular sports. Like they were like forts where it was like defend the fort. I don't know if it was actually what they did, but we used to have pine cone wars all the time.
That's pretty savage.
I don't know if that was actually through the troop, but like.
Yeah, we got to be careful.
It was a lot of like boys being boys, and it was fun.
Which is good, yeah.
Like we had a friend who was in it with us when we were real young. He moved away at a real young age, but like I saw him not too long ago, like 6 months probably, and it was just like that. Like we were like, "Oh, what's up, dude? Long time."
Is there rivalry between Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts?
No, I like Girl Scouts.
You like Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
I fuck with the cookies. That's about it. I don't really know anything else that they do.
No, the cookies do hit.
Why don't Boy Scouts get cookies?
We sell popcorn and wreaths, like Christmas wreaths.
That's where you guys are fucking
and popcorn. Dude, I sold so much of that at the Komark.
Popcorn or the wreaths?
Don't matter, bro.
Both.
Everybody coming in just wanted our shit.
So you mentioned the Komark. For people that don't know, what is the Komark? What was the Komark?
It was a restaurant that I was born. My family had this restaurant, and I pretty much grew up all through high school as the busboy of my dad's place, and it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Food was banging, like
biscuits and gravy, man.
Yeah, like sorry, Manny's. Nothing at Manny's is as good as Komark. That's not a bias. The food was just smacking.
Yeah.
Manny's is good though. Manny's is where I go now.
Manny's is solid. I do miss the Komark.
The biscuits and gravy, like they used to make jokes about like that's what's in the walls and shit, just because like that's he had the secret down, dude.
Yeah, it was really solid. And you know, I also had I had a family. My family owned a business. I've talked about it a couple of times on the show. A Big House Pizza. So like, you know, owning a small business, small restaurant. What's different? You know, growing up in that environment as opposed to, I'm sure you know your friends or who maybe get a job here and there. Maybe they come work there even a little bit. Like what's different about working for your family growing up?
It taught some work ethic when I was real young, more than the Boy Scouts and all that. But like when I was like 8 years old, I was trying to get paid from my parents. Yeah. Like I was like, give me some money to do some shit when I was like 8. So it made you want to work more. It made me like value money a lot.
Yeah.
And then it's why I'm like able to talk to people, and I'm very social because at such a young age I was exposed to all these people that were far older than me, like wrinkly old people, grown adults. You know what I mean?
You gotta serve everybody, you know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on regulars?
That's what made it.
Really?
That's what made it. Yeah.
So you love them? You got any? You hate it, or was it?
Oh, I mean, not hate. But there were some you just, when they come in, you'd see them pull up, and you're like, oh, fuck.
You ever get those
But
ones
you know
where
their
just,
drinks and shit, what they're ready to order already.
well, that's what, I always wondered. We had some people that were just like, they just always seem pissed off to be ordering. And I'm like, why the fuck do you keep ordering if you're just like, you're already mad. You're already going to complain about something. Just don't order.
I just tried to be sweet with them, like, tried to make them smile. Like,
That's what I did.
They come in without a smile, like, try to give them a reason to, like, be happy, like, get out of whatever little gloom you're in, like... You don't have to share your negative emotions with me if you're all gloomy.
Yeah.
Just like put a fake smile on at least.
That's a good way to put it too. You gotta kill them with kindness too. Andrew Deezer, yo, you guys, I have a questioning. What's up, Andrew? Ask us your questioning. This is a YouTube comment. I have a questing. I think he means question. But just for those of you listening on Spotify, we get. I think I explained this last week. We get questions in the live chat on YouTube. But we'll wait for that. I don't know what he's saying. But working for your family and stuff. I think it's interesting because, your friends are they're applying at places, they're getting jobs elsewhere. Like for people, obviously they don't know or they don't care. And I think, you kind of like you see some of your friends and they're just jag-offs. Like when they're at work, like they just do their job and they do whatever. But when your family owns it, like. Yes, you're still doing your job, and you're still maybe you're not even the best worker there, but it's like you at the end of the day, like you understand that this is like your family's business. This is how like you get presents at Christmas. Like,
we were the most like at least myself, like we were the most casual restaurant you'd walk in. Like even these older folk that walk in, I'd say like what up kind of stuff to them, like just be cheery, but like it was extremely casual. And like other places I've worked, I'm doing that driveways and stuff now where I'm all dirty and stuff, and the guys I work with tell me be very proper and like politically correct. I'm like, dude, like I'm getting dirty and you want me to be politically correct? It don't work. I'm very casual on that job too. Sometimes they get on me for it.
What kind of you said you were very casual then, so like what kind of relationship like did you have? Were you allowed to kind of like, if there was ever a dispute, like someone was complaining about shit, if your dad wasn't there or whatever, would he defer to you? Would he trust you to make the decision? If someone was being a douche, could you tell him like, yo, you're being a douche, like stop?
I had like,
you ever have to do that? It
was me and my sister working for the most part with our dad, so I kind of had like second command, but my sister was a waitress, so what she said pretty much went. And if somebody was being a dick to her, for the most part our dad would get involved because it's like his daughter. Like I was just talking to somebody about it. There was some douchebag. I'm like probably 14 years old, young as hell, walking around. I put his bill down. I come back by. I'm like, "Can I take that?" He's got his card. He's like, "Go ahead and try." Put my hand up to grab. He slam, and my dad heard it from the kitchen. A smack on the table. He looked out, and I looked over. I was like, I'm about to like freak. So he came out. He's like, "What's going on here?" The guy tried to laugh it off with me. I was like, I was so young. I said, "This guy's being mean."
Yeah. Wow, dude, he
and my dad like asked, he asked, and I mean, he could tell he was kind of a douchebag when he walked in.
That's very interesting. My job is breeding spiders and insects in Oklahoma. Went home yesterday and saw a spider in my office. It hissed at me and did what I thought, what I thought was a cough or some shit. What would you do if that happened?
Your spider coughed? Is that what he said?
I don't know. Andrew, I think I'm being trolled here.
Did Andrew take some of that LSD you were talking about earlier?
I think he may have. I don't think the spider can cough. That'd be insane though if it did. You should get video evidence. Send it in. But no, I've had it's weird when you mention that because we had plenty of times at the shop where people would call in, act away with the person like taking the order, then I show up to deliver it, and they're total like just a douchebag. Like don't answer the door for 10 minutes. Then and I got other deliveries in the car, and then they do. And this one was this kid had he took the pizza and they was like split housing. So like when people like their basement is like right where at the stairs when you walk in, or you go to left to the living room, or you can go straight down the stairs to the basement. He turned around with the pizza as like the screen door is closing, and slams into like the frame of the door. Like he didn't realize his door was closed and to go down to the basement and slammed it, just shakes the whole pizza. And I'm like, oh shit, bro, like you all good? He's like, yeah, it's fine, man. Totally, it's my fault, whatever. I'm like, well, I know it was your fault, but whatever. So I just leave, don't think anything of it, do my other deliveries, and I get back to the shop, and my dad's on the phone with him, or I can't remember if my dad or this girl Ange that we had work there. It was one of the two of them was on the phone, and he's like, "You're saying he slid the pizza?" And like as I'm walking in, I'm like, "What's the address? I was like, "Who are you talking to right now?" And he was like,
pizza.
He's like, it's blah blah blah, like names the address, and I'm like, let me talk to him. And he's like, they were just like, "Yeah, the delivery driver's right here actually." And I pick it up, and I'm like, "Dude, I watched you slam that fucking pizza into your wall, like into your door. That's you. You said you were good. I offered. Funny. I was gonna help you out. Like I could have called the shop. They would have gladly sent you another one. But now here you are trying to lie, being a douchebag. Fuck you, bro." And then whatever. And it like later he'd ordered months later, and it was like he was a younger guy, like around our age, maybe a couple of years older, and he like tried to pay me with a joint. And again,
you're
maybe
not the guy to get paid with a joint.
Exactly.
Though.
Maybe that would have worked for somebody else. That would be like, "Yeah, I'll cover the pizza. I'll take the joint." But like for me, it didn't work. And he was probably
that's a tip, if anything. That's not payment.
Yeah, no. So it was like I was like, "No, man." And so me and that guy, we just didn't get along. But yeah, we had some weird. I don't know if you've ever delivered like pizza.
No, we never did that. But like you said earlier, the regulars, that's what made it for us. Like,
yeah, same.
Knowing everybody's name that'd walk in, like it made it real cool.
Yeah, and especially like for us, because we had like in our system, when you call in, like you type in their phone number, their address, whatever, it would literally come up with like their last order. So you could just be like, "Do you want the same thing?" Yeah.
Dude,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I went to Anastasia's and like they had my card on file, and like I think Ty told me how much I'd spent there. I was like, "Why do you know that?"
Oh yeah.
But I was also disgusted by how much I spent there.
Yeah, it's creepy, man. We you know what's crazy? I don't think I've actually told this story yet on the show, but we had a couple of people that they ordered. This guy, he ordered every single day. Every single day, he would order something. Most of the time, he would order like just like a beef sandwich or something, like small, like not so like you're talking like $7-8, not like fucking a whole pizza. But every once in a while, we get a pizza, and but he ordered every single day for like a year. Maybe it was like a year and a half. Old guy, and all of a sudden there was like 3-4 days he didn't order, just didn't order. My dad called the police to see if he was to go check his house and see if he was okay. He lived by himself. He was fucking. The police showed up. He was fucking dead.
Swear to God.
Like
dude.
he like literally. He was really old. He was very, like he was getting to like an age where like you might be thinking something like that could happen, but he literally like That's how like they found out he was dead. It was because he didn't order like fucking every day.
That's the kind of relationships you actually get with like so many people.
Oh yeah.
Even little things like that. It's like.
We considered we had like a meeting. Like it wasn't like an actual meeting like with my dad or anything. I think my dad did go to the funeral, but like me and like the other employees and like Tim who worked there, like we were like, do we go? Like, do we go to the funeral? Like we kind of know him. Like I see him every day. Like I bet a lot of his family doesn't see him every day. And yeah, it's just kind of weird to do that. What's the worst thing about your parents owning a business? Because there's a lot of good shit that comes with it, but what's something that people like don't think would be bad?
I didn't have weekends my whole fucking life as a kid, like, but that's the days I would work to make money, so I was okay with it. But I'd bitch plenty, like,
oh yeah,
I wanted to go hang out with my friends, like middle of the day Saturday. I'm working. It's only like till like 3 or something, but still, like, I want to go out to do shit. Like there were times I'd missed like trips with my friends because I had to work the weekend, concerts probably.
Oh yeah, plenty of concerts. I can imagine.
But you bite the bullet for stuff like that because it's your family's gig.
I was gonna ask you that because how was taking off work and when you work for your parents? Because for me,
awkward.
It was super awkward, but they were always cool. Like they literally never like I think maybe one time I couldn't. Like they always made it work, which I was super thankful for. But like I was so scared to do it that I barely did.
I didn't start doing it till like the last couple of years of high school. I didn't start asking for days off really, but for the most part they were cool with it. Mm-hmm. But they always gave me shit. But it was weird. Like I didn't want to ask to like take days off. Then
at the end of the day, you're like, this is like it's like. I mean, so were you staying there then? It was like so that was like your actual home. For me, it was like I mean, it's like 2 minutes away. Like so, it was like my home, my second home basically. Like I was there more than I was here, and we had a basketball hoop outside, and like we would every day after our shift, like it'd be like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and we had like a little light, and we'd just be playing basketball by the dumpsters, and like till like 1 a.m. most days. At
the Komark once. Well, multiple times police came up because we had the hoop out there too at like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. We were balling under the street light.
Yeah.
And that's my house, you know?
Yeah.
So we were in the parking lot of my house. Cops came up. There was one time I was in my bathrobe and I got handcuffed because I jogged to the police. I was like, "It's okay, guys, it's my house." And you're not supposed to run at cops, you know.
Yeah, I guess they can't.
So
handle
like
that.
literally, like 16 years old, they handcuffed me, put me on the car. I was like, "This is my house. Like, are you kidding me?"
I'm
I was
butt ass naked
I was
at
like,
my house.
I'm about to go wake my dad up. They're like, "That won't be necessary." I'm like, "That won't be necessary."
I think it might be necessary.
And then they just like let me go because that wasn't the first time they'd like pulled up on us just hanging out.
what was their reason for pulling up though? They just
Because it's
didn't
a
know.
business and they see a bunch of kids out there at 1 a.m, 2 a.m under the street light. They go and
guess.
investigate. But I got bitchy like because it happened multiple times. It's like,
Yeah.
this is my house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, at some point, you know, they're especially I don't know.
They gotta catch on. Like
just-
they knew we owned the place. They knew we lived there. They're
Did-
always sitting there.
Well, did Trevor have their own police station then, or no?
Kenosha
It's just
County.
Kenosha County. Okay, so maybe they didn't.
It was
they didn't
different
see you.
cops most of
Yeah,
the time.
but that's still, you know, that's a little hoey to keep showing
Very
up like
hoey.
that. And it's like, come on, you know what we're doing. We're just gonna
Very
get some
hoey.
buckets here at 1 a.m. No big deal. When else is a better time to get buckets? How do you? What's that? Shania Michaels, what's up? How are you doing? So I wanted to talk to you about eating then, because we owned a pizza place, so I ate pizza all the fucking time.
I still eat breakfast food like it's like
Did you eat
going
it,
out
like,
of
all
style.
day, like throughout the day? Did you eat were you that guy that could eat like pancakes for dinner and shit?
I wouldn't eat pancakes. I just they were bland to me. But French toast, I ate absurd amounts of French toast, bacon and toast.
What about? So I need to settle this debate because I'm always people usually disagree with me on this. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Thank you, dude.
I'm just putting
Fuck
like
yeah,
pancakes. I'll eat them, but they're bland as
fine.
fuck for breakfast.
I
If
think
I
you-
want something sweet,
You gotta put like chocolate chips in it though, or it's not even worth my fucking time, dude. Like a waffle is so much better.
Ew.
I don't know why. It's
Chicken
just
and
like flaky.
waffles?
Chicken. I've never had chicken and waffles,
Dude,
and I want it so bad.
smacks.
I don't know. Like I just always wanted to try it. I
Go to
never got around.
Vegas and Antioch, Las Vegas.
Really?
They do good shit there. They got good coffee too.
I think we did. We recently went there before quarantine. Yeah, before all this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Kevin got chicken and waffles. Kevin, he gives us the look. We won't get into Kevin today. I heard pizza can cause loose skin. Is that BS? I mean, my skin's.
You're
not
looking pretty flabby
Yeah,
there.
I guess I'm looking a little loose. No, I eat pizza like every fucking day. And
Still, or you
no.
used to?
I went through a stretch where like I'll go stretches where I fucking I'll eat a lot of pizza, and I can't. pizza's
Everyone
something
does.
You can't get sick of though. Like everybody asks, like, oh, did you ever get sick of pizza? And I'm like, that when you have the whole place and you can make whatever you want. I'm sure it's the same thing. People are like, oh, you ever get sick of breakfast food? You're like, dude, if I want biscuits and gravy this meal, I can eat pancakes the next one and waffles the next one
We
and
had
whatever else,
everything
sausage.
too, like omelets or whatever you wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Right at your disposal.
What's your go-to omelet?
We had the one called the Mark omelet. It was just meat lovers omelet with
Okay.
hash browns inside of it.
Loaded up.
Dude, I'm telling no, that shit just smacked. It was so good. The food there hit so different.
Weird.
And I'm not a hash brown guy really, but he made the hash browns crispy as hell.
I
And that's what you
I don't
need.
like them when they're all like soggy. And
No,
shit, so.
most places you get a couple crispy ones with a bunch of mushy potatoes.
Yeah. Well, you
Have
you
that.
said you eat it. You like if you go somewhere for breakfast now, like you'll go to like Manny's or something like that.
Vegas and Antioch.
Vegas and Antioch. So are you like? Do you have like a high standard then? Like when you go?
Very. I
And,
feel like a douchebag when I'm like, because I'll watch the workers, like not even trying to. I'll be like looking like, oh, she's going to grab a coffee pot. Because like that's what I did my whole life. I don't try to, but I notice what's going on behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah.
Like when a chef yells in the background, like I hear and know what they're talking about.
That's so funny because that's a like, I love pizza and like I think pizza is pizza. Like you can't go wrong with it. Like you can't make it literally unless you don't cook it. Like I don't
The
think
sauce. You can
Yeah.
have shitty sauce. It'll ruin your pizza.
You can have shitty sauce, but I still, again, maybe I'm just like a wannabe fat guy because like I still can't eat I can't eat a pizza and be like, oh, I don't like it. Like I don't know, I will eat any pizza and it's like
What's your favorite topping on pizza?
one topping or like
Well, what's your favorite slice of pizza if you could have one?
it's the D-Rita special. For those who don't know, get this. It evolved over the years, but basically it started out. We had a pizza called the Big Al Special, and it was basically just like a supreme pizza. Like it was just like it was sausage, mushrooms, green peppers, and onions, and I liked it, but I just not the biggest fan of sausage. Like I like sausage, but it's not like my thing. And I'm not big on mushrooms either. I don't mind them, but a lot of them I kind of just don't like the texture of it.
Same.
And So I was like, I took it off, and I loved pepperoni. Like that's all I ate as a kid was like pepperoni pizza and shit. So like once I started working there, I just tried it, pepperoni and green peppers and onions, and then like
That's probably bomb.
it is bomb. It's fucking amazing. It was it's just perfect like flaky crust.
I love green peppers like that.
Yeah, green peppers are solid. But I also love like barbecue chicken pizza or like we used to do BLT pizza. That was my favorite for a while, and so I like started combining all that shit. So I would do like I would do regular red sauce, pepperoni, onions, what do we do? Green peppers, and then we put chicken on it. Like we'd put fried chicken, so we'd fry the chicken, cut it in pieces. Like you only fry it like halfway, and then you like let it go through the oven. We like convection ovens, and or like I don't know what you call it, like a conveyor belt. So you like put it in one end, it'd go through, and then cut it up, and then drizzle ranch on the whole thing. It was fucking. I mean, I should be a diabetic. I really should be. And I'm sorry if anybody didn't eat dinner and is listening to this because we've been talking about food.
Hungry.
But yeah, that shit slaps. I can imagine you probably experimented the same way with omelets and breakfast food and whatnot.
Yeah, we tried a bunch of shit. You can't really get too fancy. It's a lot of the same ingredients in breakfast.
That's fair. That's very fair. And yeah, breakfast is pretty simple. Would you ever run your own restaurant?
I mean, it was cool being like kind of your own boss. It's really nice to have food around like that at all times. Yeah. Now that I don't have it, I like would kill for it to have it back. Like my dad whipping food up every day. Yeah, that'd be the shit. Yeah, but I don't cook myself, so
that's fair. I suck at cooking.
And you gotta have the right cook. If your food's not like that good, like damn good, then like it's okay. Yeah, I don't care about how cute the girls are working for you. If you don't got good food.
If you don't get good food, you're not gonna sell. Kind of switching gears. I wanted to. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to have you on the show, which we were talking about off air a little bit, was your Facebook clapbacks crack me up, dude. Like you just like. I know, you can get into it as much or as little as you want to, but it just, what is it about? Like you will take, someone will say something so fucking stupid, and like I see it, and I'm like, oh my god, this person's a fucking idiot. I just like scroll or whatever, or sometimes delete it if it's that bad, but. I'll always see Lucas Stanis comment, and I have to go in, and like half the time, like I'll either go in and like it, and the other half is like I'm like, oh shit, I don't know if that person's like gonna come for me if I like this comment because it cracks me up. Like, what is it? What are you looking for when you're gonna clap back at somebody like that?
For the most part, I try to like keep it short because you don't want to say too much because you'll outdo yourself, but like. I'm just trying to get to the point. I know there's people that'll like see it and agree, so there's people behind you, but like I just try to like get my point across. If somebody's spreading bogus shit, I'm just gonna be like, it's bogus.
What's the dumbest thing you've seen in like the last week that you had to respond to?
Dude, oh my god. There's this one guy, he goes at everything I say and share. It's kind of been funny. There's another, his good friend is like, I like him. We knew each other in past lives. But I've never commented so long on Facebook where it's like, read more. Got to click it multiple times. Oh, never done that in my life. Yeah. But he's hit me with like 6 of those in the last couple days. And I'm keeping it short. Like I said, like couple words at a time.
And it's usually like...
And I can't read them. Like you forget what you're reading at that point. It's just like he's babbling kind of.
It's run-on sentences and everything like that. And I like your comments. I like them because they're usually just like witty and like right back and right at them. And I think
it's one kid tried to call LeBron James racist. And I was like, you can think that if you want. But if you or LeBron are the racist, it is you.
That's very, very fair. What obviously this guy's kind of been on your ass, but has anybody has anybody come back at you that was even funny or remotely funny, or is it usually just really bad nonsense?
There's one person I had to delete. We went to high school with him, just the biggest dumbass. I thought he was stupid before this kid got on my Facebook.
We talked about it prior. Yeah. Idiot.
So I actually had to take this kid off my Facebook because it was too much.
What did he? I took him off also, but a little bit before then. But what did he say that was the last straw for you? And we don't have to. We're not going to name names. But.
I called him a Fox News watching bootlick and something, and he said I read Wikipedia. So I was like, dude, I can't even argue. This is too much stupidity for me to like even respond to.
He probably thought it was so good too. He was probably just like, dude, I got it.
I kind of respect him as a person. Like I don't mind him entirely as a person. He's just not smart. He's dumb.
Yeah, I think a lot. That's
too outspoken to be as like arrogant as he is.
Well, and that's the thing I wanted to say, man, is that I think, you've probably experienced it. I know I have, is that, and even, even if people want to include me in the conversation, it's that now with the internet, anybody, a lot of people, dude, and I was thinking about, it was fucking me up the other day, dude. When you're in school, when you're in fucking grade school, high school, college, whatever, there are those fucking kids in the class that you're just like, fuck, how the fuck did that, you honestly are just thankful that they're still alive because of how fucking stupid they are.
I didn't as bad as it sounds, I've told other people this, I kind of don't handle what I consider stupidity very well. I don't get mean, but I get short and I'm opposed to it. I ignore it. But yeah, there were people I met in high school and I saw all these different people. I was surprised. I was like, wow.
Well, there's a difference between someone who doesn't know classroom material and someone who's stupid.
Yeah, if you can't make any connections or put anything together, if you can't remember anything.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not a very good reader or anything. Numbers click for me more than that. But go with that.
And there are people that are good at school and just not and still aren't smart. There's a lot of those.
Oh,
there's
I know.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and what you you're just there's that fucking scary looking, not scary looking. I mean, scary person who is fucking. You're thankful that they don't burn the school down by accident every day, right? And when you're in school, you just graduate and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just doing my thing now, and I have this group of people are in my life, whatever. What you don't realize is that person is still alive, and that
what are they doing?
They go on to have kids maybe, and they teach their fucking nonsense, their ridiculous stupidity to a kid, and worse now, they can fucking spout that on the internet. And me included, man. I'm sure there are people that are I went to school with this kid. He's a fucking, whatever.
You know how many people probably think that about the shit that you laugh at? The little witty remarks. You could say I'm hiding behind the internet, too. Because I'm just talking my shit to some people I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing's going to happen about it. But, these people we went to high school with, they're probably looking at me way different than when they, kind of knew me then in person. Just because, what I'm posting.
Well, and I just think it's so
a few
weird.
Beliefs I might have.
I just think it's so weird that, it's a weird dynamic where it's you think you're right, you're I'm saying what I'm saying because it's the right thing or whatever, or I think I'm doing good for whatever, but then you got to realize wow, that person that is just genuinely their logic is just genuinely flawed, and they think the same way I think, and then you just have to look in your mirror and shit, dude, am I the one who's being a fucking idiot right now?
It makes sense to them for some reason. That's why you got to take it slow. You can't be spilling too much on them because like I said, that dude's commenting to me so much. I'm not gonna agree with what he says because he's telling me it on Facebook. It's just not gonna change my thought.
Shouting it at you.
Yeah, also, things we say to each other aren't really gonna mean shit. That's kind of also why I keep it short.
And that's, dude, I've been trying to stay off it as much as I can, but it's just especially with what we're doing, I can't really stay off of it. But it yeah, dude, it's just it's toxic, man, and no one's listening to each other, and that's where that's where I went wrong. I had some. I got into some debates with people, and it was like you said, he's not going to change your mind over Facebook, whatever. You don't fucking know him.
I'm not going to change his.
Yeah, and you're not going to change. And that's what I was thinking. I'm genuinely I'm here no, I'm laying this out for you because I want you to understand. And I realized that other people, they don't want me to understand, and they're not saying what they're saying to make you understand. They're saying it because they want to just they want to be they think I'm putting this on the internet. That means I'm now heard. My opinion is validated because I typed it in this many characters, whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to realize was nobody gives a fuck what I'm saying, dude.
Absolutely,
and nobody gives I don't give a fuck what they're saying. And so that's what, just trying to stay away from that and just make content.
It's mostly for fun though. It's I'm seriously getting in these debates or whatever you call it. I'm laughing. I'm chuckling to my phone the whole time. I'm not taking any of it that serious.
I'm sure
it's
that
fucking
would piss
Facebook.
them off,
This kid's talking about you don't want to meet me face to face. I'm no shit.
Over what? What does he threaten you
I
over?
literally probably said 60 words, and this kid's telling me we don't want to get up.
What is the conversation about?
Black Lives Matter, shit like that.
Oh God! And he wants to get in your face because he doesn't think
it was
black
on
people
that.
should be.
I said, racists aren't ashamed of being racist anymore, and that's what everybody goes off about. I'm you're defending me saying what? How are you gonna defend that?
Yeah.
You should be allowed to be racist and
Yeah.
Be what you are, but
that,
like,
that probably
there's no
goes
shame in it.
with what you were saying too, though, with that, like, or with their logic, like it makes sense to them. So it's like, I would say that I don't know that racists have ever been ashamed to be racist. That would be the only.
They weren't as vocal about it. They weren't
they
like
don't have
presenting it.
they didn't have a platform before. They had to like.
Yeah.
The Klan was hiding in the hoods, and they would meet in the forest and fuck up whatever bullshit. But like now they can just all put up a blue American flag, and we know what's going on.
All right. Blue lives aren't real.
I saw a post about that. Yeah, dude, and it's like do you know what's crazy is I know we made a joke earlier about like the cops messing with you guys and whatever. I don't hate cops. Like, I don't think anybody should hate. I just don't think I think we are asking them to do too much, and I think that they have too much. Yeah, they're undertrained, and I think anybody like, dude, everybody's seen it, dude. Like, if a teacher leaves and puts someone in charge, you watch that power go to their head immediately because there's no basis for them to get that
Substitute teachers got the biggest heads, and it kind of goes along with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they get put in that little position of power, and they're fucking everywhere.
You see that a lot.
Not all cops are bad. There's definitely good cops. Like, they're not all undertrained, but there should be more training. I think.
Well, I don't think anybody.
There's so many bad cops out there still. You can't deny that. I don't give a shit who you are. There are not good cops. There's corrupt people still.
There's a lot, and I just think that's the thing is that like being a cop is a ridiculously hard job. Like I don't want to do that. I know a lot of people don't. Like, who the fuck wants to be a cop? Like, the people that want to be a cop. They will go to school for however long
they would go for
they
those 4 years or whatever.
But you know what? Who's not gonna go? That fucking guy who just couldn't think of anything else. But he's like, I only got to go to school for like 6-7 months to be a fucking cop. I get to be now in my home, my hometown or my whatever county. Like I get to be hot shit wearing a whatever. That's toxic as fuck and not really a smart decision.
No, those aren't the people that should be given that power because power goes to people's heads like. All over. Yeah. Like, most people, power would go to their heads if they got too much of it.
Well, and that's why I think, like, a lot of people... I also think that fucking... To defund the police was... I think they specifically chose to market it that way to not get anything done. Because that is the dumbest way to market it. Like, I think that there needs to be fucking police reform and
put the money elsewhere. There's plenty of other places to put that money. They don't need.
And that's
to
what
it
means. That's what defunding the police means, though. That's like what the whole like campaign. That's what it means. But like when you say defund the police, the closet racist, or even a good cop, your knee jerk is to be like, oh, no, not all cops are bad. Like whatever. Like why you're gonna take money away from all the cops? No. That's not what we're gonna mean. But so I get why people like knee jerk freak out when they hear that, because I think it was a dumb fucking way to say we need to reallocate funds and like work around how our police like when if two parents are having a fight, drunken rage, having an argument, civil like domestic not violence, no one's fighting each other, but it's freaking out loud, there's a noise complaint. Yeah. Why the fuck if you're any dude who if you know men,
drink one.
You can. He said you can have one if you want.
Yeah, you too. Drink up, y'all.
Drink up, y'all. If you're having a civil dispute and like if you're a dude and you're fighting with your girl or vice versa, right? And a dude shows up with a fucking gun and handcuffs, and he's like, "Hey," and
I'm gonna take you away.
Yeah, he's. You need to like. In what way does that help the situation? In what way does that like calm that guy
down?
Through
fear, dude. Everybody, when you get a cop behind you, every fucking person, you're a clean guy. You don't fuck with shit like that. Do you get nervous when cops pull behind you?
100% I'm nervous when cops pull behind me.
It's like instilled through fear. We shouldn't fear the people we're supposed to be like,
dude, exactly,
listening to and responding to everything. It's not everybody's gonna do that. How many people we got in this country? Like over 300 million, like probably like 350, something like that. You're not gonna control that amount of people. There's 5 people in this room. There's probably fucking 4 at least of us that would like resist police.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like you said, it can't be fear, and I think like that's where I think with the whole defunding the police, I think it was a terrible title to campaign the slogan of just trying to reallocate.
All the titles are getting overdrawn. They're all getting too aggressive.
Oh, exactly, and it's just that's what I'm saying. It's a shouting match where it's like I don't actually want change. but I want to just show that I'm on this side. And it's like, no, get the fucking sides out of here. We're all people at the end of the day, and we all want to just live and in the best possible country that we can. And it's like, we can't have, when I lived in Janesville, we'd be playing basketball with all the cops in Janesville. I had friends on my basketball team who were much older than me, who were drug dealers. And I think the cops fucking knew that they were drug dealers. I'm like 90% sure he's showing up, smells like dank. He's fucking
reefer.
Making a deal before he walks onto the court, like whatever. Like, they're cool as fuck too, whatever. But like these cops, like
that's not what they're there for, though.
But if that friend of mine, you know, and he that specific friend was black. Like if he got pulled over by one of those cops, he knows that motherfucker, and that motherfucker knows him, which I think is more important. And that's why he's not going to be scared to go up, because that's what I think too. Like, you can understand if the only fucking thing, you know, if you live in a fucking town like we live in, like, or in this area where there's like 3 black people at your school, and they're 2 of them are probably mixed, so it's like, what, you know, and you know you're living in a very nice neighborhood, rural area, and then you become a cop, and the only thing you've ever seen or heard about black people is what you see on Fox News. You're fucking scared.
Your opinion is swayed.
You would be scared. How would you not be scared?
Can I give a short story? So a few summers I bounced back with my parents living in different areas. One, my family stayed in like the more like white area Trevor. We had 2 black kids in our class in grade school. And my mom was trying to get me to live out in Zion Beach Park, which is more of a black area, like Hispanics more than whites. The whites were the like minority, extreme minority. When I'd go out on the streets and hang out with people, there was a handful of white kids. Yeah. And the grade school that I was supposed to go to, if I would have gone out there, it was a leisure center with those fucking foldable walls, the blue things that like fold up. That was a grade school at the time. Instead, I went to Trevor grade school, where you just got a brand new fucking gym. I don't know how much that cost, like million, something more than that. And that's grade school in Zion I was supposed to go to in my like 7th grade, which wasn't too long ago. That's not a school anymore. Yeah. Like, where's the funding for that? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, this is like pretty much the same wall.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We had like a divider like that in like our 6th grade classroom. We had like, it was like it was one big room, and they had like a little divider.
Yeah, that was the only walls in this building, and then there was a gymnasium attached to like this big empty room with those dividers put up, and that was a grade school out there. That's kind of why I say like there's other places to spend that money. Yeah, I don't want to make it just by race, but like that's like. Yeah, the whites are the minority out there, and they obviously need more funding, because I wasn't the only kid supposed to go to that grade school.
Yeah, well, and I think too, like, yeah, obviously, especially if it closed down, and I think like when you're getting back to that, like, it's just like this. If we all know, like, I feel like, let's be real, dude. If I don't know somebody at all, like, not that I don't like them or whatever, I don't care about them. I don't know them. How could I care about you if I don't fucking know you? Cops are supposed to protect and serve us, right? How the fuck, like, is it what's more important to you, like the fucking white kids that you know because they're, you know, related to you, cousins, friends, whatever, they go to the same church group as you, whatever the fuck, or the black kids, the black neighborhood that you've never spoken to any of those people, you never lived in an area where those people are, and that's now where you're policing. And again, you're policing out of fear.
And those people object you being there. Obviously, like, that's how it is. That actually is how it is. Like, it's not a derogatory comment.
That's why I always bring up, like, and I'm sure like people that have listened to this show for a while are probably annoyed with it, but I always bring up the Janesville thing because, like, and I didn't live in Janesville my whole life, obviously only a couple of years, but I never personally had a bad experience with a cop in Janesville. And like I said, I played basketball with them every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so did a ton of my friends who were black, Asian, whatever, didn't matter. And there was nobody scared of those cops because they fucking knew the people they were policing. They cared about them.
Because they see them as people more than behind their Blue Lives badge. You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing is, dude, if you're still doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong. Like, there is a procedure that they have to follow.
If you get caught, you get caught,
yeah,
dude.
But like, they're not scared, because that's the whole thing, is that they're scared for their life. That's why they make these mistakes and do whatever. I'm saying that if they have compassion, they care about these people, and they know that person also cares about them. If you think so-and-so's car smells like dope, you're not pulling up like, yo, get the fuck out of the, you know, you're like, yo, so-and-so is their weed in the car, like, whatever, like, and it's okay, hey, you got a ticket for this, and this, whatever, like, go about your day. not fucking killing somebody,
Mm-hmm.
by accident or whatever. And I think too, like I was saying before with like the domestic issue like that, I don't understand why we can't have, there's a lot of people who go get fucking psychology degrees and like social science degrees that they can't really do shit with. Why aren't we developing some sort? It should be like a fucking, when you have two cops in a squad car, right? Like the buddy cop movie, how it normally is, right? Why the fuck do I have two people that are armed, only been trained for 6 months, that are both ready to de-escalate a situation that is involving violence? Why don't I have one person who is there, who understands how who went to school to understand how the human mind works, under stress, under whatever, specialized training,
yeah.
so that when they show up, when dude is drunk, belligerent, whatever, they know how to handle that, not revert right back to the gun. You got the other
to
guy
be like,
that's,
this guy's drunk, like we need to stop
Yeah.
him, like at any means necessary.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and you've got the guy who's trained more, who's specialized in physical whatever, who can do that, who can disarm this guy, can take down a possible threat. But I think it's ridiculous to think like, yeah, the only way that we can fix people that are acting out of line, and fix is a bad term for that, is to, like you said, do it out of, make them fear us, or just flex our nuts.
it
and,
has
let's
worked
get a
though.
bigger
Like,
gun.
it has worked. Like,
Well, it does, but it always ends up not working.
dude, like riots have happened before all throughout history of like humans. Like, it's not the first time riots happen. We're like, I don't know how to say. We're like a first world country. We're very developed. Riots don't happen out here all as often.
Mhm.
But like that
But
shit
they
still
did. That's
that
how
shit
it
still
started.
goes on, dude. It happens. Like, it's not a new thing.
Well, that's also how the country started. Like, if you think about it, like we were getting fucking shot.
This is kind of what those comments, those long ass ones, are all about.
yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like when I made my video on the protesting thing a while back, it was like originally going to be way longer, because I wrote like the history of protesting, and like I had like explained like how like America was fucking basically, like we literally rioted, destroyed, looted, like destroyed things, millions of dollars worth. I mean, not millions, obviously, if you like adjusted for inflation, millions worth of property damages towards this government that we deemed tyrannical. Now, I don't know that we're 100% tyrannical, but there's a lot of flaws.
There's a percentage
and
of tyrannicality
I think
going on.
like when you can't be honest with the flaws, that's when things get scary. Like when you can't say like, if
like your fucking roommates.
yeah, well, and dude, it's like, bro, if I am sitting there, if I think that I'm a 10 out of 10 most attractive dude ever, that's scarier. That's really scary. Like either way, the reality is I'm a Midwest 6. So it's like, if I own that makes it a much better 6.
Yes.
But if I am delusional enough to where I think I'm a 10,
You're a Midwest 4.
that's fucking scary. And it makes you ugly. It makes you like you are a danger to society. Like people that are that delusional, like, and that's what I'm saying with the whole government thing, where it's like, yo, if we can't admit that we're not doing things right, and that's what like these
That's
cop
what I see.
people.
Like, how do you like see that as right? Like, I'm sure people have seen that old man with the bleeding ear laying on the ground. Like, that is not right. I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, do what the police say. Suck my.
Yeah, bro. Like, what do you like? That's what I'm saying. Like, they're like that's the thing. That's a really bad argument. It's yeah. Well, if you were just doing whatever, it's like.
I get you gotta listen to the police. Like, I listen to police from there in my face too. But like that dude, there's so many.
And it's fine to listen to police, and even if you're not, that there's no grounds to do that. There's still no grounds to do that. And if we have rules that are enabling that, then that's where we're like, as a fucking team, because we're a team, and that's what I think people like get so, it's so like, oh, we want to be on this side and I want to be on this side. We're a team. We all want the same thing, which is this shit to be the best that it can. If we cannot admit that it's not perfect, then that's when we're ultimately gonna lose.
Those guys been trying to put me on. They're like, you always support Black Lives Matter. I'm like, I never once said anything about Black Lives Matter because I don't understand it completely. They're definitely not doing everything right. Yeah. I don't want to be on like police versus Black Lives Matter because that's where a lot of people are putting it. Like, no, there's an in between of like, but I still support the.
Well, you support fucking people.
The people. That's
you
what I said. The fucking people.
Fucking
all people, dude.
Exactly.
Like, it's not just blacks being oppressed though. Like the police brutality thing is like.
Yeah.
The police don't entirely work for the people. Like they have objectives that they have to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have to take care of certain things. They have quotas.
Yeah.
What if people just aren't speeding that month? You're gonna pull over the wrong guy?
Yeah.
Shit like that. Like
that is backwards. That is backwards.
I feel like there's too many of them out there too. Not saying that like we were driving the other day. We saw 3 of them talking, and a kid I'm working with, he's like, "That's why we need to defund them." And I took it as a little serious because I was like, it makes sense. They're literally sitting there on their lunch break, 3 of them right there.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I know down the street in the corner what's going on. Like, there's other stuff going on that they could be handling.
Yeah.
What they're fucking patrolling for people speeding down Highway 50.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, exactly. I totally get that, and that's where I think
They could be doing more with what they have, totally.
Well, and that's
they have such strong funding and so much behind them.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like, I think they should be doing more things. Like, I know I like said the whole playing basketball thing, but why aren't they doing like shit with the communities? Like,
Nothing.
why aren't we putting a little bit of money into like, yo, this is what the fuck your cop looks like. This is what the fuck all the cops that are here. Like, dude, you do that for like high school. Like, the girls basketball team has a fucking pep rally where they come out and they're like, hey, this is your starting 5 for the girls basketball team. Like, fucking these, like, just trying to like whatever, like, so you know these people, like, there's a face to this person. Why the fuck don't we do that with the cop? Like, hey, this is Officer so and so, he enjoys fishing on his weekend, this that, like, he's a person. And then same thing, I'm meeting the little Tom and little whatever, like, fucking
dude, nobody I know that went to high school with us has a damn bad thing to say about Deputy Gomez because they know him. They know he's a really nice guy. He's looking out for everybody. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They got mad respect for him. Just
Yeah.
probably because they know him like that. They know him as a person, not just as a man behind a badge.
Exactly.
That's kind of why I say blue lives aren't a thing. Because that man behind that badge is either like a black man or like a white woman or like Hispanic, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
The blue lives thing is just goofy to me. But
it is goofy because no one's born a fucking cop.
But I get, like, that's how it's been referred to, but it's really just not a thing. It shouldn't be a thing too much.
Yeah, that's just weird. It's just weird. Breonna Taylor didn't even have a chance to listen to the police, though.
Facts, dude. Oh my god, why'd you have to hit me with that?
It's true. That's fucked up. We've talked about that at length on this podcast. Very sad. But I want to get to some. I guess we were kind of rolling on social media for a minute there. Speaking of, have you heard or seen things dealing with Kanye's meltdown?
Somebody said something to me about it, but I saw jokes about it, but I have no idea what his meltdown is.
So did you know he was running for president? That he was going to try and run for
Yeah,
president?
I heard about that.
So what are your thoughts on that?
It's more ridiculous than Trump being our president, but like not entirely more ridiculous. Like,
well, I think it's just stupid because I think he knows what he's. I think he kind of knows what he's doing.
He's doing it as a joke, kind of.
Well, and he's trying. You got to think like young kids that listen to Kanye West music, like kids at our age that can vote are newly being able to vote, right, and listen to Kanye's music, and they hate politics because it's ridiculous. If you go on Facebook, it's how we were just talking. It's one side or the other with bullshit. They didn't know who they were going to vote for, and now it's like, okay, I'm Kanye, and I'm buddies with Trump, and this is what a lot of people have been saying. Anybody that votes for Kanye didn't vote for Biden.
I said that shit as a joke not long ago.
That's what I don't give a fuck.
What do you mean about his meltdown, though?
But so his meltdown, he had his I think he thought that this was going to go better. He also, too, the thing is, all right, I'll just give you what happened first, and then I'll break down how I feel about it. But he was running for president. Said he announced he was running for president. A couple weeks go by, nobody really gives a fuck. Like he had some shit a couple months ago that he tried to do. I think he had the Gap deal. He made a deal with Gap that Yeezys are going to go to Gap now. Like, he's going to, like, make a clothing line, like an affordable Yeezy line for Gap. And it didn't really get a lot of buzz. And, like, his whole thing is that, when he married into this family of the Jenner, Kardashians, whatever, what is their skill or talent? Nothing. It's just gaining attention. They do some fucked up, they get a fucked up plan.
Money.
Yeah, well, they know how to get people's attention. They'll tan a little bit extra dark, so then people will be like, it'll be a whole black skin scandal thing, and it's scandal after scandal to get attention, because then you're dropping a new season of your show. And you've seen, like, Kanye has been doing this. Once he got in with them, that's what he did. When the Life of Pablo came out, which I think is like his last, like, solid project.
It's a good one.
Yeah, but like since then he's like had like a couple okay songs here and there, but it's never like been a solid like a great Kanye
Everything
album.
after the Ye album, I don't know.
Even
the Ye album is like, eh.
Yeah, Ye was all right. I liked a couple songs in there, but like so the thing was like it's just been big on the antics, and the music has gone down, like the quality of the music, right? And he's realized that he can sell just about as much by doing something ridiculous. But so Life of Pablo comes out, he has a mental breakdown on stage, where not really a mental breakdown, I think it was pretty staged, where he was screaming at Jay-Z like and Beyonce, saying like, y'all don't want to let my kids play with your kids and all this shit, and like, Jay-Z, don't send killers at me, like I know you got killers on speed dial, don't blah blah blah, like literally at a show for like 40 minutes, and he did this for like four shows in a row, and then like he canceled the tour, the rest of the tour.
What the fuck?
And I just remember watching all the videos, because I followed academics at the time, and he would post up like all the news about it literally every other day it was Kanye in a different city for 40 minutes of a show, like just freaking out about something different. But he knew that would get people to tune in.
Yeah.
And then Ye was coming out, and he had his whole big mental breakdown, and that's when like he came out as like that he officially got diagnosed as bipolar and stuff like that, and he sat down with Charlemagne and talked mental health and all this shit. And I don't think and that's the thing, I don't want to say he was using like any of that to promote it, but it was very convenient that like his mental breakdown was right before his album was coming out, and that the whole album was supposed to be about, literally the cover says like, I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. Right? So it's like, you know, maybe
there's a
he's
bunch of
telling his
screaming
truth.
in that album, like he's going nuts.
Yeah.
And stuff like.
Well, and that's what it's like. Are you playing it up, or is this how you feel, and that's why you're expressing it this way? Which I don't know.
It's all games. It's all for sales. You know, like publicity. Like Kanye West does anything out of line, it's a headline.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Getting to this most recent breakdown. He I should probably just pull up the I think he deleted them. But so he went on this fucking Twitter storm, which he does whenever he has these breakdowns. I'm actually gonna try and pull it up. And basically, like, he alluded to Kim K being a racist, and
I did hear about that.
And let's see if he deleted everything. Oh, he did delete everything. Damn it. So basically, he freaked out and started tweeting. He's tweeting some weird pictures. He was like tweeting like shit about like tweeting at Drake, and then like just like with like a thinking face, like because him and Drake had that whole beef thing, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but basically he had freaked out on Twitter, was lashing out because his most recent presidential, I don't want to, what would you call it, a rally sort of thing he tried to have. It looked like there was like 50 people. It wasn't very big, but like he said that Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves, and like that she forced them to go work for other white people, and I don't know what the fuck dude was saying. He was saying some weird shit, and basically, so it didn't go well, and he looked like he was gonna cry on stage, and so then he freaked out on Twitter, and started tweeting a bunch of crazy shit. Started tweeting at Kim, saying that like, I guess he was freaking out because Kim was like considering doing like a photo shoot with the kids or something. That's what it seemed like, because he said something about like no kid of mine is gonna do a Playboy photo shoot, blah 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 blah, like freaking out. And this is like a year after he was very like celebratory of Kim being like who he said was like, my wife's the sexiest woman alive, and like she can do whatever she wants, photo shoots and whatever. And then, you know, a year later he's freaking out because his kids are involved or whatever, and he's like saying that he tweeted this, Kim's trying to send a 5150 or whatever, some doc trying to send a doctor to get me locked up. And then he's like called like her mom and her like a racist or some shit, and it was just wild. And then his last tweet, it's still up actually, that he says that he can still get more votes than Biden off write-ins. He just tweeted that. So yeah, he basically had a big meltdown. People are freaking out, but then he also announced that he has a new album coming out.
Oh,
it was supposed to come out Friday, but then I think Taylor Swift, who like they've been arch enemies for a while, she dropped her album. She like surprise dropped her album that Friday, so then he didn't do it, I think. But crazy, it was ridiculous. A lot of drama, a lot of famous people, rich ass people drama that shouldn't matter. But you know, it's shitty when he's like, I feel like he's using mental health a little bit too.
It always has, dude. That's always been a thing of his.
But I think he does suffer.
It's been more subtle. Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he does. Like ever since his mom like passed, like I think he really was dealing with some serious shit, and it just comes out at really bad. It's like It just really like I can't tell if is it like album time that you just get stressed out and that's when this thing happens, or is it album needs to sell, so you're like I gotta generate headlines.
I feel like it's more of that because like that's how it all comes back to that is publicity and getting the name out.
Mm-hmm. And how convenient.
But I do think he suffers mental health issues. He's fucking nuts, of course.
Yeah, he's actually bipolar. Like he's officially diagnosed as bipolar. But like I don't know if that condones all the other shit he's doing. Or maybe he just needs to turn Twitter off for a little bit.
I feel like all of them do, dude.
Twitter is.
I've never used Twitter.
See, I didn't, and then I did for a little, and I didn't for like 3 years, and I'm just recently been trying to get back into using it But I can't, again, with social media, I was telling you, I'm trying to get, like, stay away from it a little bit more. I'm trying to more so just create and then just leave it. Like, create, get off social media. If someone has something nice to say about it, go talk to them. But, like, it's too negative, bro. It's too toxic.
It's so toxic. And, like, I'm not very good about it. Like, I fuck around on there, too. For the most part, I'm just, like, messing with people.
Yeah.
Getting laughs out of it.
See, and that's the thing. You
can't take it serious. Well, that's the fucking internet.
Well, and that's what when I was talking earlier about, like, that kid that grows up and then has that scary person that, like, like, it's just not a smart person.
Not everyone should reproduce.
That is very true. We had some teachers that definitely told us that. And, but no, like, it's just not everybody's opinion. I had to think of it this way. I had to tell myself this the other day. Like, even that kid, that really, really fucking dumb kid that just doesn't get anything you say, that you can show him I can show you 2 pens, and then I can separate the 2 pens and be like, this is one. What happens when I add this one? And they just not putting, like, those people that don't put it together, that person still gets to have an opinion. And that's when I realized, I was like, wow, dude, opinions are not shit. And I just kind of put it together. Like, I mean, that was a really rudimentary example.
No, I was told when I was young, it's like somebody yelled at me, like, you don't have an opinion. And I was offended. I was like, what the fuck? But then now I realized I was like fucking 10. Like, yeah, my opinion really doesn't matter. It's not a very intelligent opinion.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Opinions are like, I forgot, what's the saying? It's like the easiest, or it's like the weakest form of expression because it requires no research and no, like, whatever. Like, I can just feel. It's however I feel, and that's what a lot of people are using their feelings to in substitute of facts, which I think is not good either. But what else did I have for you? I wanted to ask, while we're still on social media, this will be the last thing with that. Do you delete people when you disagree with them? When it's like when they're, I mean, we talked about the one kid that you had to delete who was really bad. But do you normally, do you delete people?
No, I've only deleted 2 people. I mean, I don't go at anybody. Like, I'll never, I don't care enough to, go at them and try to sway how they feel or, insult them over media or, threaten them or anything.
Yeah.
I let them stay. I told this one kid, we kind of had, a little snappy, very politically correct argument. Mm-hmm. It's funny as hell. That's all it is. It's all politically correct arguments.
Yeah.
But then it goes to the point, it's like, well, I don't dislike you for how you feel. I'm like, all you do is bitch at me on Facebook, though. But whatever. He never unfriended me. It'll probably happen soon, though. I laugh at most of his stuff, so I'm gonna keep the guy for now. It's a laugh for me.
Yeah, that's fair. You got anything else for me, man?
I was gonna say, I think your beard grew since I sat down at this table. I think
you think so?
I do think it's gotten a little more thick.
Bigger. Yeah, it's
full.
It's getting there. It's still a little patchy, but we're working on it. We're a little over a year in the show. If you watch the first episode, I got Duncan. I got the baby face. I got the baby face and the short hair, and I haven't got my hair cut in fucking 4 or 5 months. So I'm gonna catch up to you one of these days. Would you cut your hair off?
If I get it cut, I'll trim it, clean it up, but if I'm cutting it at all, it's probably going to go short. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, probably shorter than that, but I don't know if I'm intending on getting it cut.
Damn, I wouldn't do it after you're already so far.
We're already at 4 years probably of growing it out.
Jesus Christ.
Probably 2-ish years ago is longer than yours, and that wasn't even long for how I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But this is extremely long for what I've had it.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Well, Luke, I got nothing else. So unless you got something else for me, then that's all I've got. I want to say real quick before we do go, I want to say thank you to our patrons for helping support the channel, supporting us,
Damn
letting
right.
us, providing us with the opportunity to talk shit every Monday as we do. Thank you to those on the screen. Really appreciate what you guys do for the channel. And thank you to you, Lucas, for coming on the show.
Thanks for hitting me up about it. No, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too, man. We'll have to do it again. I know I'm having your buddy Dylan on soon.
Yeah.
We were supposed to promote his fight.
Jeez.
But COVID hit, and I don't think he's fighting anymore because they can't. Like, I think unless for them, like an amateur fight, you're not making a ton of money off. It's not on TV. No one's paying per view. Like, it's people coming to the show.
I want to let them fight. Just throw those 2 guys at the gym.
I got a media company. I don't know what kind of insurance we need to sign, but hey, we can figure it out. I got the cameras. We can live stream a fight for Dylan. That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
But he's supposed to come. He was supposed to come promote the fight. I think he's still going to be on the show, but the fight's good. I think it's postponed. So
yeah.
But maybe you'll have to come on with him and be his hype man.
Maybe I'll jump in. Modest. Maybe I'll do what Duncan did.
Do Duncan did and come hang out. Nah, but thanks again, man, for being on.
Thank you.
What do you got to say to the people before you dip out?
I'm just happy Darren hit me up to do this. This guy bleeds ambition. And he'll get buckets on any of you. I'll put money on that. Any of you.
I would put buckets on any of you. I wouldn't say that.
Buckets.
But the rest I had a gun to his head for the rest of that. He didn't mean it, so don't take it too seriously. Other than that, guys, got some new music coming out soon, so be sure to stream. All our music is available everywhere that you stream music, so go check that out. Anyways, a lot of cops are ex-military, specifically frontline ones. This should be addressed.
A lot of cops are woman beaters.
That's a good response. Well, no, actually, thanks, Kristen, for jumping in. I'm sorry, we're actually just wrapping it up here, but no, that should definitely be addressed, and that's like a really actually important thing that we'll probably talk about.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't know how to really say it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'll have to bring that up next week when we talk about this, how we talk about it every week. But thank you guys. I will see you guys on the next episode. This has been episode 55 of the Detox Podcast.